For its second anniversary, Octopath Traveler had its cast of 8 characters appear in groups of 2 on the Spirit Board. The first 2 being Ulberich and Primrose. Ulberich is a mercenary knight, hence the Black Knight, and Primrose, played by Bayo, is a dancer who wants to avenge her father's murder. The next 2 characters we have are Tressa and Cyrus. Tressa is a merchant, hence why she's being played by a villager, as villagers do like to buy and sell quite frequently. And she also has wind magic, hence the strong winds that will be kicking in shortly. And the Robin, who I just thrashed, is playing Cyrus. Cyrus being a scholar who seeks a magical tome. The reason he was being played by Robin of all people is because Cyrus fights with a bunch of elemental spells. So, yeah, Robin absolutely fits the bill here. For as much as people have a go at him for being yet another Fire Emblem character, he is Smash's only resident wizard, not counting hero. Anyway, moving on, we have Alfyn and Therion. Alfyn is a travelling apothecary, hence the Dr. Mario, and the reason the floor is poisonous is because Alfyn battles not only with potions, but with poisons, so that's how he's being represented here. Unluckily for him, I'm powered up by Gruntilda, so poison makes me stronger. And Sheik here is playing Therion. Therion being a master thief who fights with fire-based attacks and daggers, hence why Sheik's B moves were quite appropriate there. So here is a battle that ended up being way harder than it needed to be. I was very, very stubborn about beating this with the boss dragon instead of a spirit with an advantage, so yeah, my stubbornness kind of got the better of me here. But yeah, this is Hanit and Ophelia. Hanit is a hunter seeking her master, and she is accompanied by her pet snow wolf, Linda, hence why we have Pit as Hanit and Wolf as Linda, an extra party member to make this already difficult fight even harder. Albeit a little wolf, which is kind of adorable. Anyways, Palutena is playing Ophelia. Ophelia is a cleric, hence why she healed everybody not too long ago, making this fight even harder. And yeah, Palutena makes a perfect fit for a holy healer. Anyways, thoughts on Octopath in general. Absolutely fantastic Switch game. A spiritual successor to Final Fantasy VI, if that sells you on it. And speaking of Final Fantasy, I think it's a good time for us to move on to the next 2 DLCs. The first of which literally broke Twitter. Steve Minecraft got into Smash, and I love that. Not just Steve, but also Alex, the Enderman, and a zombie. All functionally the same character, but the variation is appreciated, so let's start by fighting a horde of zombies. Zombies are a standard enemy mob in Minecraft, appearing only at nighttime. And yes, from this point on, I'm going to refer to any NPC or enemy from Minecraft as a mob, because that is apparently the nomenclature. Anyway, zombies are a mob that are very, very slow, but to make up for that, they are quite durable, and they often attack in hordes. So yeah, it really is just like staving off a zombie invasion right now. And one thing that does make me a little sad is the knowledge that Zombie, now being a playable character in Smash, kind of deconfirms the Resident Evil zombies, which I personally think would have been quite a neat addition. Oh man, here's the Creeper. So, despite being the most iconic and well-known Minecraft mob, the Creepers were created almost entirely by accident. When Minecraft's beloved creator, Hatsune Miku, tried creating a pig and accidentally fudged some numbers, the result was a horrible, gangly nightmare monster, which she decided to incorporate into the game itself. Creepers are very well known for, well, you can probably gather by this fight, They blow shit up. Usually you or your structures, so kill them before they ruin your hard work. Here we have the skeletons. There was a little bit of outcry from people who wanted to play as a skeleton as opposed to a zombie, but there's no bow or arrow in the Minecraft moveset, so skeleton would not have worked. Instead, they're being played here by a bunch of Lynx, and staying true to the skeleton's weapon of choice, these Lynx absolutely love spamming their bow. Lynx bow is not a kill move, so this would be a walk in the park, if not for the sudden final smash, which, you know, being hit by an ancient arrow will kill you very easily. Don't get shot. Now this fight, this brings me back. This makes me feel nostalgic for episode 1 of this LP. So instead of a Dragon Quest slime, we have a Minecraft slime. They function very differently. The slime mob, when you take them out, simply split into 2 smaller and faster slimes. So you end up with a Hydra situation where every time you kill a slime, you just make more of it. And sometimes the only winning move is to not engage with them. Sadly, that's not an option here because this is a spirit battle, so this fight is against an absolute ton of tiny, tiny Kirby's who will stun lock you and will drain you of all of your health very, very quickly if you give them the chance. So, yeah. You may have noticed that it's even a stamina battle to really get across the idea of these slowly diminishing slimes and your diminishing health when you engage with them in Minecraft. So, yeah, you gotta be really, really careful in this fight. I'm kind of playing as Shadow Mario because, you know, slime is his whole thing. That just felt appropriate, but you know what? Playing as Bowser Jr. actually kind of worked in my favor here. I have mobility, I can ride around and run the slimes over when they get too fresh. It all kind of works out, or at least, you know, it mostly works out. I only have 8 HP left. Holy crap, that was close. That was too close. So here we have the Enderman being played by himself. This is wild to me because the Enderman is Minecraft's take on Slenderman. This is the closest thing we have to Slenderman actually being in Smash, and I still can't, like, mentally pass that. I love it, don't get me wrong, it just feels unreal to me. Anyway, the Endermen are a neutral mob. They're actually not aggressive unless you attack them, obviously, or stare them in the eyes for too long. Simply looking at them will drive them into a murderous frenzy. And when they do get aggy with you, they gain the ability to not only move super fast, hence the boosted move speed, but teleport, hence the Abra. And in case you're wondering why power blocks are appearing en masse in this fight, that is because Endermen are one of the few mobs in Minecraft who can actually interact with blocks. So that leads to a lot of people theory crafting about their relation to the main character, but that's a whole other story for a whole different time. Anyway, these Endermen are surviving way too much right now, so in comes Darkon with the final smash to get a guaranteed kill. There it is. So next up, we have the Villagers and the Iron Golems. Villagers are a passive mob, that is to say they are friendly NPCs, and they appear in all different types of biomes, so anywhere you can build a village, essentially. Now, there are different variations of villagers that are actually hostile, like zombie villagers or illagers, but these ones are very clearly the goodies, like the nice chill dudes. Now, friendly as villagers are, if you do aggro them and attack them, then they summon in Iron Golems to fight for them, and Iron Golems are an absolute nightmare to fight. Not just in Minecraft, where they can body you within a matter of hits, but here in Smash, where it's a giant unflinching Rob. The only way I was able to pull through this battle was by overusing the cuckoos, who serve as stand-ins to the chickens that often appear in Minecraft villages. And, you know, I've not really gone into the moveset of the Minecraft gang, but they really do live up to their legacy game, because if you're not constantly mining and getting resources by using your B move, then you actually start to get a more limited moveset and it becomes harder to fight. So that's why I spend a lot of this fight just kind of running away and trying to dig as much as the Iron Golem will let me. Like I say, it's what the cuckoos are there for, just to buy me time and give me the opportunity to continue fighting. Ooh, hello, Final Smash. I should probably find an opportunity to show you off. There we go. I love this Final Smash. That is the House of Boom. Not based on anything in particular. It's just a thing that can happen in Minecraft. You build yourself a nice big house, you pop a little bit of dynamite in there, and creepers blow everything to hell. Granted, I've never done anything like that in Minecraft, but mainly because when I did play the game, what little I played of it, I played on no enemies pacifist baby mode, because I am a giant man baby who's scared of monsters. I just want to build in my digital Lego game, not get eaten. And definitely not go to the Minecraft equivalent of hell, the Nether, in which you can find ghasts. So, yeah, Minecraft is actually split into 3 realms. The overworld, where you spend most of the game. The Nether, which is full of incredibly dangerous enemies. The floating fireball spouting ghasts being one of them. And one other realm that we will be exploring shortly. After I've, you know, mastered this juggling act of fighting, dodging lava, and dodging projectiles all at the same time. This battle is a little bit of a nightmare, so, oh. Never mind, okay. I guess the, Ghast wasn't feeling it there. Here we have the Piglins. Piglins also appear within the Nether, generally in the Crimson Forest biome, hence the Kid Icarus stage we're currently in. And Piglins are generally an aggressive mob, but will spare you if you go up to them wearing a piece of gold armor. Apparently they are very much obsessed with gold, to the point of worship almost, so simply wearing some gold will be enough to please them. And that makes my taking them all on with gold weaponry right now feel very, very fitting. It's like a very, very cruel irony. So, yeah, this was of course recorded on the first day that the Minecraft characters were added into the game, and I will say, out of all the DLC characters, they're honestly quite tricky to play as, so please do excuse my scrubbery here. I have gotten better with these characters since, gotten them into Elite Smash, all that jazz, so yeah. If I were to record this footage now, I can promise it would be a little less painful, a little less running away and scrambling, trying to get weapons, and a little more smooth. Few less horribly botched final smashes like that one, so yeah. Anyways, it's now time for us to take on Minecraft's final boss. You remember how I said there are 3 realms? The last one is the End, the home of the Endermen, who live under the subjugation of the Ender Dragon. And you know what? I'm gonna have a little bit of a brag here. I finished this battle in one go. It only took me one try, and it was pretty dang close at that. So, yeah, the Ender Dragon within the Minecraft final boss fight often flies around these big obsidian towers. Hence, you know, why we're battling on the stage right now. And the reason that she just healed herself there is because in the Minecraft final boss fight, the Ender Dragon can use crystals mounted on top of said towers in order to heal herself. So, yeah, this is actually quite a faithful adaptation of said fight, which you actually do have to go out of your way and, like, figure out how to even get to it, because Minecraft's not a linear game with a beginning, middle, and end. It's a sandbox, so figuring out how to even get to the Ender Dragon and then figuring out how to even beat her, these are all things that probably take some wiki research, or at least a couple 100 hours of exploration. And that, I think, is kind of cool. The idea of a game where there is this big, epic, climactic battle in there, but a very small percentage of the player base are ever going to find it. So, yeah. Anyway, no shame. I do not care that that was the cheesiest victory ever. I'll take it. And I'll also be taking the boosted version of the curry ability, because that is incredibly awesome. You know what else is awesome, though? Final Fantasy VII. So, the Game Awards of 2020 casually revealed right at the beginning that Sephiroth would be entering Smash, and my inner teenager was so happy with that. What's really cool, though, is in the week before his official release, you could get the character early by defeating him in this limited time event. Which is exactly what I did. So, yeah, I absolutely love that Cloud, the character previously made fun of constantly for having such a paltry amount of representation in Smash, now has a goddamn ton. 2 characters, 2 stages, a bunch of music tracks as opposed to just 2, and a bunch of spirit battles. So, finally fantasy. That was a stupid joke and I regret saying it. Don't regret this though. No shame. Never shame. I stole Sam's Switch for this, hence the name Sam. My Switch was being repaired at the time. Couldn't miss that timed event. Or the opportunity to play as Sephiroth early. I love that he got into this game and not Kingdom Hearts 3 somehow. Anyway, here are the Final Fantasy VII Spirit Battles. A lot of them based on the original game, and the summons all being based on their remake designs. So yeah. First is Tifa. Tifa is Cloud's childhood friend. She's been recreated really faithfully into Smash, albeit with a Mii fighter, but the moveset given to her represents all of her different limit breaks. And it'd have been great to see those, but she kinda ate shit immediately. Here we have Barret. So Barret is the leader of Avalanche, the ragtag group who stand up against the tyrannical Shinra Corporation. And before we fight Barret, we have to take down the other Avalanche members, Biggs, Wedge, and Jessie. And yes, the first 2 are named after the Star Wars characters. So, these 3 all go on to live long, happy, and prosperous lives, and nothing bad happens to them. Anyway, here's Barret. So, Barret might be the best video game character of all time. He's an angry, sweary Mr. T stand-in with a machine gun grafted onto his arm. But he's also a family man who fights to provide a better world for his daughter, and that is incredibly wholesome. Anyway, here we have Aerith. So if I didn't have the Aerith costume downloaded, she would be represented by a Zelda here. But either way, she's very prone to spamming magic attacks to represent her affinity for magics. You'll notice that in this fight, she's being protected by a Cloud. That is because Cloud is Aerith's bodyguard for a good chunk of Final Fantasy VII. So that is a really nice touch. You'll also notice that we're battling on the Fountain of Dreams. That, as we all know, is for no reason whatsoever, because Aerith goes on to live a long, happy, and fruitful life, and nothing bad happens to her. Nothing involving Sephiroth's down air attack, nothing at all. Anyways, she also healed both herself and Cloud a moment ago. That is to represent her limit breaks, which are almost entirely based on healing. I don't know why, but I'm kind of getting the feeling that I should have done this fight as Sephiroth. Not sure why, though. Just a feeling, you know? One of those. Anyways, here we have Red 13. Red 13 is a hyper-intelligent K9 party member who is essentially the fastest playable character in the game. And reflecting this, he has a limit break named Sledfang, in which he slices through an enemy at incredible speeds. Hence why this Duck Hunt dog hurts just by running into us. Or at least he would have done if I gave him the chance. Here we have Cait Sith. How do I describe Cait Sith? Cait Sith is a robotic cat riding around on top of a robotic Moogle piloted by a turncoat Shinra operative. So kind of a bizarre character. What makes Cait Sith really interesting, though, is that he fits the gambler archetype of Final Fantasy. All of his moves and limit breaks involve him essentially rolling dice, hence the Game & Watchers there who are using luck-based attacks to hurt me. Anyways, here we have Cid. Every Final Fantasy game has a character named Cid in it, but Seven's Cid Highwind is both a party member and your airship pilot, so yeah. This fight I finished very quickly, but if he had the chance, he would have brought in Jeff as an assist trophy to launch missiles at me, reflecting his limit break. Here we have Vincent. Vincent is the most edgelord character ever. Literally being played by a dark, edgy wolf. Yeah! He's also the protagonist of the critically panned sequel to Final Fantasy VII, Dirge of Cerberus, in which you ran around as Vincent shooting aliens. Anyway, getting more into this fight, the reason we're fighting on Luigi's Mansion is because it reflects the Shinra Mansion, in which you find Vincent literally chilling out in a coffin, and his being played by Wolf is not just because he's an edgelord, but also because he can transform into beasts. Next up, we have Yuffie, the ninja. Yuffie, much like Vincent, is an optional party member. You actually first encounter her as a random encounter enemy, and yeah, throughout the game, even though she does, eventually come round, she mostly just tries to steal materia from you. She's very self-interested in that regard. And the fact that she does that is why, in this battle, all of the items spawning in are orbs, to reflect the materia she steals. Next up, we have the most iconic characters in the Final Fantasy series, and the most reoccurring, the Chocobos and the Moogles. So, in Final Fantasy VII in particular, a Chocobo being ridden by a Moogle is the first summon you get. They appear in battle, bash into the enemy in a cartoony fashion, and then leave. So that is that. However, in FF7 Remake, the Chocobos and the Moogles actually stick around for quite a while in battle, and one of the moves they can use is called Moogle Blast, in which they blow you up. Hence why that Kirby started the fight with the Bob-omb. Nice little detail. Here we have Ifrit. Ifrit is the fire elemental summon, appearing in most of the Final Fantasy games. And, I'm a very stubborn person. So when I realized, I'm supposed to, put on a spirit that allows me to walk on the lava floor, I thought to myself, no, I can win this even without touching the floor. And the real kicker is I somehow did. I wouldn't be able to do it again, honestly. It was absolutely fluky, but, I had to do it. I had to prove it to myself. Here is Shiva. Shiva is the ice elemental summon appearing in a bunch of Final Fantasies. And, yeah, from this point on, I'm just going to play as Ifrit because Ifrit owns bones. So, yeah, Shiva is, an icy lady. She's known very much for using her diamond dust ability, in which she freezes the heck out of the enemies and then shatters them. And, yeah, for this particular battle, we have Crystal. Get it? Because diamond it's a crystal, diamond dust. And also Crystal has ice attacks. We're fighting on an icy stage, and we have Freezies spawning in constantly, so this is probably the iciest battle in the entire game, save for the lack of any ice climbers. They wouldn't really have fit as Shiva, though. Zero Suit was definitely a correct choice on that, like, aesthetically. How are you not dead yet? Oh my god, that absolutely should have killed you, Shiva. What are you doing? Come on. Just wasting my time. There we are. So next up, we have Bahamut Zero. Bahamut Zero is the most powerful version of Bahamut that you can summon in Final Fantasy VII. He absolutely decimates enemies with his Terra Flare attack. And this particular battle, what with the music choice in the stage, is kind of a reference to the battle against Bahamut Sin from the film Advent Children. In fact, there are actually quite a lot of love letters to Advent Children in this Final Fantasy VII DLC, especially in the trailer, which straight up took shots from Advent Children and reimagined them in a Smash context. I can't believe that they actually faked out stabbing Mario. That is wild to me. Anyway, this particular fight is really, really effing hard, and it took me a lot of whacks, but eventually I kind of got a good streak where Bahamut Ridley here didn't get a bunch of hits on me and guarantee an instant kill with the final smash, which, you know, you only have to be at 100% damage for that to happen. Scary stuff. Oh, and one thing that's really cool about Bahamut as a support spirit is he gives you a unique skill that no one else has. Final Smash Power Up. Like, as if Final Smashes need to be stronger. Anyway, last battle we have is against the Turks and Rufus Shinra. The Turks are Shinra's elite fighting force. They're hitmen, essentially. And they consist of Reno and Rude, two best buddies who we are currently battling against, and another two who spend the entire game stalking you, Eleanor and Sung. So, yeah, we basically have to fight the Turks in waves. Here they come with reinforcements. And once they're all done, we then get to take on Rufus, the new president of the Shinra Corporation, who takes over after his father gets Aerith. Stabbed. He gets stabbed by Sephiroth in the back. So, yeah. Anyway, these guys are proving to be somewhat irritating, even for my Ifrit here. But, there we go. We've reduced it to just, Rude now. I'm pretty sure that's Rude. Yep, that's Rude. Rude of him not to die sooner. And, here comes Rufus. I do like how Robin here has come equipped with a Super Scope to represent Rufus's double-barreled shotgun. He couldn't have accounted for that, though. He did not expect to get punched into oblivion, so cool DLC. Thanks for watching.